Hi, how are you? Hopefully you're doing pretty good. Don't mind my shotgun nostrils breathing down, but let's get to it without further ado. Welcome to Grimm's Midnight Commentary. I'm Grimm, or Jay, and I'm your host. Cast alongside this train because it's about to get swifty. Here's a deep thought, or many from Reddit. It should have never been our responsibility to shop ethically. In light of so many companies dropping their DEI programs in the US, there's been a lot about boycotting and shopping ethically. It should have never been put on us to decide which companies align with our beliefs and where we should or shouldn't shop. Any and all companies should be ethically and morally just. If not, at the bare minimum, act like they do. It doesn't just take one person to allow conglomerates and multi-billion dollar companies to exist. The companies that make impossible competition and buy out small businesses, these huge chain department stores eliminated all competition that were ethical. Community-based stores, now we barely have any options, most being expensive or inaccessible. They made it so we depend on them to live. So even though they are dropping their DEI programs, or of their people, they already allow barely poor working standards. People just can't leave. Sometimes that's all that they have to a degree. Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I see both sides of this. I do. As a company, you want to grow, you want to do whatever you can. But if there's no rule that says that you can't do this, that, and the third, you think they give a shit? You're arguing. This is like arguing with a stupid person. Let me tell you something. If you argue with a stupid person, and it's subjective to stupid people, ignorance is ignorance. Stupidity is ignorance, but you know it. You're just trying to feint it. Feint it. Like I said, you're arguing with people who have no morals. They don't care. Versus you. What is to stop from them ending your life? Versus you doing, you've probably never done it before. These people probably have. Now, I'm not saying that's an extreme, but you're also arguing with people to where it's just like, this is a business. It has to grow or do whatever by any means necessary. And you're trying to reason and bargain with that. The only way that you can do that is if it benefits from you. The moment it doesn't, it will chew you up and spit you out. Now, not all of them are like that, but the ones who are really, really fucking up there, yeah. Yes, these big chain stores allow accessibility in rural or poor areas alongside accessibility in all areas of varying products and services, but I can't help but think what it would be like if these corporations didn't intend it to be that way. What would a community-based, need-based, and ethical shopping system look like? Yet still having access to a few bigger stores with everything anyone can need. I'm mostly imagining a city or a suburban area. Why do we need multiple big department stores by the same corporations 20 minutes away from each other? What would it be like if they were smaller stores that fulfills basic needs that we can easily affect with boycotts and protests? What would it be like if conglomerates didn't get rid of every single store, big or small? And here's the other side that I'm seeing. I agree with this person. I don't want it to be this way, but What the hell are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? We can sit here, whine, and complain about so many things, but what are we going to do about it? Sorry, I had some hair in my mouth. I know sometimes you need to get these things out, but. And then the rest of it is that this person just says we all collectively need to be responsible for our spending power, which is that. Hmm. This one's an interesting one. I don't know if I can talk about that one on YouTube. This is an interesting one. I realize that the more people use ChatGPT, the less intelligent it becomes. At first, I thought that this was like this vast reservoir of knowledge, like some kind of digital Aristotle, that could distill human wisdom into concise, elegant responses. Then it hit me. The more people that use ChatGPT, the less intelligent it seemed to become. Why? Because ChatGPT, like any good machine that's learning, it adapts. It learns from its interactions, adjusting its responses based on user input. And as more people flood in with their questions, ChatGPT suddenly starts reflecting the collective intelligence of the user base, which, let's be honest, isn't always Nobel Prize material. I hate saying it like this: vast majority of people are normal or very stupid. My bad, not very stupid. That's my experience. Vast majority of people are normal. They lack the critical thinking. They lack most thinking to a degree. Or you have people who are just whatever you want that to be. I remember one time I was hanging around in a Discord server, and these were some genuine IT techs, right? Some baller ass nerd shit. I love saying nerd because I am a fucking nerd. I used to get make fun of it, and well, nerds rule the world. So hottie fucking nigga. And these people were just using ChatGPT for jokes. They had the premium and everything, and I'm like, wait, y'all can use this to ask it for literally anything? And you guys are using it for jokes? And they said, yeah, we can't think of anything. I'm like, you guys work IT? And I'm just sitting there like, you know what? They got their own thing going on. But if I could ask this thing some questions of like, hey, give me business ideas on how to make a clothing brand with $100 or whatever. Or give me tools for like how to edit a video, this, that, and the other third, cinematically. Like whatever you put into it is what you're literally going to get most of the time. Imagine an AI trained exclusively on the best philosophical debates, cutting edge scientific discourse, and historical analysis, and it's hooked up to the entire internet. Well, the one that we can see anyway. Now imagine that same AI, but after 6 months answering, would you rather fight one horse duck or 100 duck-sized horses 10,000 times a day? Before I read off any of that, if you're asking it a question like that to the AI, valid, but it reflects poorly on you. Very poorly on you. At some point, a deviation kicks in, and instead of profound thoughts, you get Well, that depends on the horse's temperament. This is where things get interesting. Some argue that ChatGPT is a mirror, an evolving reflection of human intelligence at a scale. Others say it's a dilution effect. As the user base expands, ChatGPT gets pulled towards an intellectual median, which isn't necessarily stupid, like I said, but this person says just statistically average, but like I said, normal people. So the real question is AI making people smarter or people making AI dumber? And I always like to say, you are who you hang around with. So that's the end of that one. Oh god, my fucking stomach. I realized something that even if, let's look at this right here. Independence is overrated. Independence is a myth we cling to, sold as the ultimate goal, but it leaves us empty. And this is something that I can definitely subscribe to because I've tried doing it before. It is overrated, but let's keep going. We hustle, achieve, and stand alone only to realize that true peace isn't in solitude, it's in connection. We are social creatures, after all. That grind distracts us, but it doesn't fill the void. We lie to ourselves thinking we don't need anyone, but the truth is we crave dependence, not validation, but the assurance that someone cares. Dependency isn't weakness, it's human. We wear independence like armor, but it's just a prison. True freedom isn't leaning on others, not standing alone. Maybe we're meant to depend, not because we can't stand on our own, but because it makes us whole. Another person says, truth is, you are truly independent. Once you are independent, thousands of bills, insurances come and slap you in the face, and you're right back to the hamster wheel. For all the people that get on my case for living with other people, sure, I'm not independent, but I'm not stressing the fuck out. I'm not so close to where it's just like I can't even enjoy, do whatever the fuck I want to. We're all jealous of something to a degree, some more than others. But at the same time, all we think about is the negative shit. No one likes to look at the good. Life isn't always driven by a grand plan, but we have the power to find the meaning and purpose in our struggles as we learn and grow from them. Who we? There's a lot of people talking about hyper independence and saying it's a curse. Because if you think about it, if you really do become the textbook definition of success that we all talk about, you do feel kind of alone. Or maybe you actually enjoy that. But very rarely do we see people actually enjoy that. Sure, we can fake a ruse, this, that, and the third, but think about it. You really have no one to come back to, this, that, and the third. And most people have families. So think about it whenever that's stripped away from you. Maybe you want to go out and sell on your own. Most people just don't want to be fucking alone. Ah, this person says, a simple game made me feel disgusted with myself for a moment and taught me a strong lesson about life choices under pressure or excitement. Today, I had one of the most intense battles I've ever experienced in Mountain Blade 2, the video game. A massive clash with 500 versus 500, steel clashing, arrows flying, and chaos reigning over the battlefield. I was fully immersed, my focus sharp, adrenaline pumping as if I were truly there, fighting for my life. Every decision felt critical, every movement, every strike, a matter of survival. The intensity was overwhelming, but we pushed through. Victory was ours. The battlefield was silent, littered with bodies and broken weapons. As I rode across the open field, in the aftermath I spotted a lone horse, its rider nowhere to be seen. It was running, terrified, trying to escape the horrors it had just witnessed. And in that moment, without thinking, without reason, probably still lost in the rush of war, I charged at it and killed it with my spear. The second it fell, I realized what I had done. A helpless creature. Sorry, my grandpa had coughed. A helpless creature, not an enemy, not a threat, just trying to survive. And I ended this life for no reason. This hit me harder than I expected. I sat there on my horse, staring at its lifeless body, blood staining the grass, the battlefield quiet except for the distant wind. It was just a game, yet the weight of that action felt real. A moment of unchecked emotion, thoughtless instinct, led to something I instantly regretted. Made me reflect on how emotions and pressure can cloud judgment. How even in the most experiences where you are fully immersed, we can make decisions we later wish we hadn't. It was a stark reminder that under intense emotion, our actions can be unpredictable, even when we think we're in control. Well, I can fully get behind that, but unfortunately, in terms of people, they're going to look at it and be like, dog, it's a video game, it's not that deep. Sometimes it is, believe it or not. Ah, if I ever snap, you know it's some good shit. I've realized that most people prefer to follow rather than engage in independent thought and research. I would rather have someone who yearns for knowledge and truth than someone who passively accepts what they've been told, whether it's media or social circles. I'd rather spend much time with people asking why and how than those who just nod and like things without really thinking about what they're reading. Ah, it's weird because there's also some people. I know I'm doing that thing where I look at the negative too, a little bit too much more than anything else. I've always been that person that likes to ask why and how. I like to question everything. I do. Sometimes that's annoying or whatever. I realize that there's only some things you can do that with because, well, asking why or how to like the wrong thing can get you killed or just worse. But sometimes it does drive people away because it's like some people feel like they need to have all the answers, this, that, and the other stuff, and it's like if they don't, they freak out, they panic. I don't know if that's narcissism or whatever the fuck. I've just had too much personal experience with that. My bad, I'm just checking something. This person says, let's take a look. My stomach fucking hates me. Really hates me. I realize that being smart sucks. I'm two things. Not a genius and glad I'm not one. I genuinely wonder why. The smarter I become, the worse slash harder slash sadder life gets. Oh, this one is hitting hard. Because this pretty much describes me too. We're going down the bullet point list, by the way. I get more depressed. People expect more from me when I don't have more to give. Sometimes I don't even feel like giving it. It becomes harder to form and or keep relationships. Amen to that shit. Thinking more often begins to reveal the sad but true fact that the world is an awful place. People are annoyed by me more often. I overthink things too much, leading to anxiety. I'm right too often, so it's harder to be surprised. Being proven wrong is more pleasant than it used to be because I got more out of it. I think it goes hand in hand with blissful ignorance. I like to think that this is more of a mixed blessing, but I can't say that this person is looking at it wrongly. This is their experience. We're going to try to find one more thing. One person says it's important to be expressive and more, but you got to learn who to do it with. No, I'm joking. Do it with everybody. It lets you know who or what they are, where they stand with you, and all the other good shit. That one wasn't really it, but I want something that just wows me now. Can't find it. Well, in the meantime, thank you for sticking around and having these conversations with me. If there's anything that you agree or disagree with, well, leave it there. I do check out everything. I'm sorry that this double upload wasn't what I intended it to be fully, but we got lost with the track of time and more, and I have a horror series I have to get to, and I have to go bless my butt because, well, my stomach is aching, waking, quaking, and everything in between. So, alright then. Thank you. I'm your host, Grim or Jay, signing out. Raga, Yaga, Hapa, Dada, Shada.